What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with some sad news and announcements, ladies and gentlemen. It's been one of those, and it's not like one of those, because, you know, those of you who've been following me for a while, those of you who've been playing this game for a while, will all know that there's just some of those days where the R&D, the algorithm, whatever you want to call it, it just, nothing gels. No matter what you do, you just lose. But this time, it's been something like, it's close to the third day of consecutive non-stop losing, to the point where I gave up on my rank already a long time ago. You guys know I don't really care about that. All that matters is that I'm in Mythic so that I get to play, you know, against the top tier decks in the format more often than not, to really put my brews to the test. But I was in the top 200 or top 500, the last video that went up on the channel, Axonil's Anvil. And I pre-recorded a bit of content. Some of you may have noticed I was wearing the same shirt for a few days. So I did it purposefully to give myself some time to build up some new brews, so that, which is what I usually do, to then have content to record for the next week or so. And I threw together, you know, something like 10 different decks. Some of them I really worked on, like I gave it my all. And at one point I'd lost 10 matches in a row with everything, against anything. I've never had it be this bad. I really don't know what's going on. I really don't know. Because at some point I was like, well, I thought I knew the answer. And the obvious thing is we're in this new big format standard with so many sets. And, you know, putting together janky brews isn't going to do it. So then I fell back on some of the, like, classics, things that have worked, things that got me to Mythic. Even the Soldiers decks that I went, like, 70% win rate in 40 matches to get to Mythic. Suddenly, I lost, like, 4 in a row. Switched to Mono Red, lost 4 in a row. Tried Mono White Humans, like, all the top-tier meta decks. I've just been losing. It's very difficult, not to just throw up your hands, take the laptop, throw it out the window, uninstall Arena, and you know, jump off a freaking cliff. Like I've never felt this bad in Arena. It's the worst streak since I've installed the client. Something's obviously up. I'm in a funk, but you know that. I'm not that kind of person that's just gonna give up, right? You have to keep plugging away. So to try and like soothe my hurts, I've just fallen back on something a little bit more obvious. I'm sure you've all seen this deck on the ladder. I'm sure plenty of you have lost to it. It's definitely very strong, but it's not a unique brew of mine. I've made some BrewLabifications. As you know, I never just take a list and run it as is. I like to do some little tweaks. But I have had to fall back on this plan to provide you guys with some content for tonight's video. But I promise I'm not going to give up. Usually, the answer when this type of things happens is for me to just go on to one of my like evil brewmaster sprees and just make like a series of control decks. And I know that there's a lot of you that enjoy that, and I know also that it isn't the thing that I play very well, but inevitably I end up dealing some pain onto the opponents with Sunfalls and all the cards that I like to complain about, and then it makes me feel a little bit better about my losing streak. So for tonight, we're going to be playing just some meta deck that I've slightly tweaked. And then I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to brew up like the nastiest, most disgusting control decks I can come up with. And that's what we're going to be doing for the next couple of videos after this one. So stay tuned if you're into control decks. If you want to see, you know, your brewmaster put on his evil hat and cast some Sunfalls and some Wandering Emperors and some Farewells, then the next few videos are going to be the videos for you. But that is it as far as news and announcements. And now, without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. simply called Gruul Smash, as I call most of my Gruul decks. As you can see, 1 out of 100. I deleted everything. I needed a clean slate. I just deleted everything. It feels really good, honestly. Like, to hit a kind of a rock bottom for someone like me who takes pride in my brewing prowess. That, like, I, just occasionally need to do the spring cleaning and, like, reset my mind. And I'm probably just gonna take a little break after this video and, like I said, just make those control decks. So fingers crossed, the algorithms, whatever, the arena WotC gods have decided that the 3 days of losing has been enough, and if all goes as I hope, we're gonna start winning from now. So Gruul Smash, I'm sure you've seen this on the ladder. It's incredibly budget friendly. So those of you who are watching that are a little bit more skint on the wild cards and whatnot, you're welcome. This one's gonna be right up your alley. And I don't know if Gruul Smash is the perfect name for it. I guess Gruul Prowess might be the better way to name it. It's only running 19 lands because it's just a ridiculous amount of 1-drops and a couple of 2-drops. And I've taken it for a little bit of a spin. This is the first time I've thrown it together, and I can see what all the hype is about. It can just win games out of nowhere. The main one that always caught me, got me surprised when I lost to this deck a lot on my climb up into Mythic, was this little unassuming little goblin guy. Because there's other cards that you could put in here, like the Voldaren Thrill Seeker, that has a similar thing where you can, you swing in, give it trample. There's many ways of doing so. We'll get to it all in a second. Gets through, and as long as it gets through, then you've done the damage, and then you can also hold up 1 mana, sack the thing, and also not only did it damage, but it also, essentially you flinging it at the opponent's face. In the case of the Cacophony Scamp, you don't even need to hold up that extra mana. As long as it gets through for damage, you can sack it, and then deal damage equal to its power to any target. And this, I've been caught unawares by this so many times on the receiving end. It's surprisingly powerful. So, of course, Trample is the name of the game, and as you can see, a lot of usual suspects. I'm just going to list them all over here. We've got, of course, Monstrous Rage. This card is... wow. Just wow. Wow. What was WotC thinking? Like, I'm sure you've all died about 1 million times to Mono Red in the last few days just because of this card. Then we've got Ancestral Anger, which not only gives trample, but also draws cards, which has been really, really nice. There's a deceptive amount of card draw in the deck. I'll get to all of it in a moment. Then, of course, we've got Audacity, another one of these card draw options. It's an aura. It gives +2/+0 and trample. And then when it goes into the graveyard, you draw a card. And then, of course, the Yavimaya Iconoclast also has trample naturally. So those are the trample things. The other combat tricks that I've got in the deck are 3 copies of Giant Growth, which I find just hilarious. We get to play with this. I don't know if I want to use the old artwork, honestly. Let me just have a look here. Growth. Yeah, I think I prefer the new one, honestly. Boop. Let's go like that. It looks, I mean, just because it's new. So combat tricks, and then last but not least, I think it's essential if, you're running into all these, like, mono black guys who inevitably have, like, 4 cut downs and 4 go for the throats in the top 10 cards of their library. You need to have at least one way to protect one of your big important tramplers. It's often the Picnic Ruiner or whoever it is that isn't blocked. Then you can dump all of your mana. Not only will it trigger the prowess, it'll also give a nice little buff, or it can just be used for 1 mana to save a target creature. So hexproof, indestructible, and +X/+X, depending on how much X. Tyvar Stan's been in the format now for a little while. So those are our combat tricks. There's a lot of them. Okay, Ancestral Anger, not really a combat trick. Audacity, neither, but you know what I mean. Things that buff our creatures. Then we, of course, have Kumano faces Kakkazan. I can't believe I'm playing this deck. Like, I've steered clear from it just because it's so full of so many cards that I complain about when I'm on the receiving end. But this deck is insanely powerful. And like I said, one rare. Okay, the lands are rares. Everything else, okay, and the Questing Druid. But still, incredibly budget friendly. Everything else is common or uncommon. So the strategy is to put down a couple of creatures, have them stick on the board, and then the Picnic Ruiner, as long as something has 4 power, will gain double strike, and then you attack in. The opponent decides whether they want to block. Oh my god, I'm going to lose my creature. If I block this, will it die, will it not? And then, of course, you do one of the usual things. Monstrous Rage on the Picnic Ruiner, or is it Tyvar Stand or Giant Growth? And then the double strike just becomes huge and boom, boom, kill. That's it. We can draw some cards with the, or, you know, get a little bit of card advantage with the Questing Druid's instant adventure. Try and do it at the end of the opponent's turn so that you untap with those cards available and the mana to cast them. If you do it during your turn, you can only play those cards until your next end step. So just keep that in mind. Of course, occasionally the adventure side of the Picnic Ruiner also comes into play, where you can put 3+1/+1 counters on different creatures you control. I've had that be pretty useful in testing. But yeah, really it's just the usual kind of Kumano, Monastery Swiftspear nonsense, coupled with some combat tricks that'll win the day. And I think that's enough blabbing. We all know what's going on. Let's just jump right into some games, and hopefully my losing streak is at an end. Whew. Little prayers, little offerings to the Watsy gods, light some incense. I don't know what I've need. Like, if there was a little camera in this room for the last couple of days, you guys would have just been laughing. Like, incredible levels of salt. I turned into a giant salt crystal. Okay. Mulligan. Keep. Let's put the veil away, I would say. Jacko the attack. What? Jacko the Attacko. Okay, I think instead of jamming out the Ruiner now, because the opponent's also playing red, I think we just go for this option, because then we can still play the Ruiner, and then if we draw another land, we can give, you know, Ancestral Anger will give the 4 toughness to one of these things. Okay. So not yet. Now the question is, yeah, I mean, we need to get the trigger on the second chapter here. So let's go for that. Opponent held up a treasure there. Huh! Okay, I completely misread that one. Alright. Seems legit. Let's give the Ruiner trample. I should have cast the yeah, I should have cast the. You can see the potential for damage output here. I should have cast the Giant Growth as a trick. We probably would have been able to bait him out. But now with the Tyvar stand off the top. Regardless. Opponent playing the Geological Appraiser in a mono red deck? I don't know if that's a very good idea, my friend. Like, first time I'm seeing that. I've seen it all over in these Discover decks, which I still have to... I tried. It was one of the things I tried over the last 3 days. Just losing. I tried Quintorius canned in so many shells. I've never lost so many games with the card. To the point where I think it's actually rubbish, but I'm not gonna put myself out on a limb and say that it is. Maybe I'm just a bad brewer, but I don't know. I tried Quintorius Jeskai, I tried Quintorius Boros, I tried Quintorius Burn, I tried Quintorius and Pia. I tried like a Quintorius Boros kind of like controlled discover deck with like a Chimil, the 6-mana artifact that discovers into Quintorius, and just lost. I think it's more to do with the fact that I was just having a bad luck streak than it being a bad card, but I'm starting to lean more towards it being a pretty bad card, honestly. But anyway, I will continue to try. Like I said, after this, I am going to do the control decks because I need to just destroy some opponents. Okay, that's a pretty frustrating hand, but I'll keep it. We'll just play the Druid on, you know, for 2 mana. And then the red spells we cast will give it additional +1/+1. Aha! Dinos. Okay. Luckily, it wasn't the freaking 6/6 already. And we got another land, which is honestly quite amazing. Ooh, nice. Let's see if he's in the mood for some blocking. So we go for the giant crows, clearly. A douche. Raptor. Wow, you're a braver lad than me. So, oof. Yeah, I mean, let's unfortunately down to 7. Okay, another raptor. So this feels like a lot more of the kind of aggro version of this deck. Really? So this will go up to 7, 8. I think yeah, we're gonna have to kill the 2 guys. It was the better option. We got mana for dues. Oh, okay. I have no idea what this opponent thought he was gonna be doing here, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Whichever one you don't block. We can do... Yeah, that's it. 1, 2, on the guy. Off you go. Woo! Not the best way to play dinosaurs, people. I mean, it is a good deck, but it's like at the very bottom of Untapped in terms of win rates. It wins. I've lost to it plenty times, but also the way that it should be played has generally been figured out. Like, you want to go big and probably use fight rigging. I'm not certain that you should be doing the like aggro Dinos version with the hasty guys and that. Like, I mean, if like one rare deck like mine can smash it like that, it's probably just not worth jamming. Nice. Nice. I'm winning. Wow. Am I dreaming? What's going on? I pinch myself. Like, I promise you, the amount of losses over the last couple of days has been something that I've never experienced in my entire gaming career on this game. Ever. So the mana's bad, but I want to just try a hand like this where we're a bit slower and see how it works out. Be nice to find an untapped land though next turn. That would be ideal. Thankfully, no Talia. Yeah, it's got to be the Scamp, right? Hopefully there's no Brutal Cathar right away. And one more land again will be just phenomenal, because then we can do all sorts of nonsense next turn with the Scamp. Which we haven't gotten. I mentioned it. Oh, ooh. Oh-ho. Oh-ho-ho. Very interesting. We're gonna have to take this, obviously. Just, aha! Aha! Okay. It's a bit too soon to go for the thing, right? It's a bit too soon to go for the thing. So I'm gonna let it go past. Again, because of the trample, even this kind of board state doesn't always bother me too much. Adeline is obviously... There we go. I had a feeling, so I'm very happy that I did what I did. We also get to have a little bit of indestructibility to block an Adeline with right now, which is phenomenal. And it's the only thing he really can attack with. So now we can both block the Adeline and the little token. And that's pretty nice. And I think now we can attempt, at least, a pretty explosive turn. Another land, please, or something. No. I don't think I'm doing this right. I'm still a bit of a noob at this deck, but if he doesn't block, we're pretty happy. Okay. He gets a pretty nice crackback. What? What? I think you could have still won there, mate. I wasn't playing that properly. Like, okay, so let's just do the thing here. This would have gone up to a 7. And then this would have also gone up to a 6-5. So 6 minus 3, 3. 3 plus 7. And then another 7. 14. It would have been 17 damage. You still definitely had a chance to... I don't know. But cool, man. I'll take the win. Thank you. I really need it. Some people just give up too soon, man. I've learned not to make that mistake. Who was watching that last brew with Axonil's Anvil against the Squirming Reanimator deck, and I top decked a Epicure, and all I needed to do was 1 damage. It was glorious. Most manic laughter I've had on camera in a while. Okay. Do we go Rockfall Vale? Ah, there we go. I think we lead with the Swifty boy. Make him think we're playing mono red. Then we get down. That's very, very frustrating. But also totally okay. Now we hold up Tyvar stand. If it's another Virtue, I don't know what's the better option here, but it depends what removal spell he goes for, right? It's looking like Ossification. This could be really explosive next turn. I think he has to try. Because it's so worrying. I've been in his position. Like, oh, a little 1/1 goblin. Next thing you know, you're just dead. Okay. That's cool. We got Trample, remember? So let's lead with that. Have I played a land? I really hope I haven't. Oh, I think I have. I mean, I definitely have. Please don't have removal. 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 Ah, well. Ridiculous. This card is so good. Ah, no. I misplayed that. We should have waited. Okay, we got Picnic Ruiner. We can go Picnic Ruiner, Audacity, hold up Tyvar stand. Totally viable playline. Okay. Let's see now if it's gonna be another removal spell. Okay, okay. Cool beans. Utterly cool and beanish. I'm down. Because the trample is good. And then Tyvar stand, double strike. Fingers crossed. I mean, what can I say? This is obviously not the greatest position to be in. Virtue, and he's got, you know, he's got stuff on the board, including the wedding announcement. Like, support is huge. Aha! More power. Everything he's got at it. So 3. Boom! Now I'm thinking Wandering Emperor is probably what's going to hit me in the face, but there's always a bit of luck. to be had once every now and again. You can also activate the Restless Fortress as a blocker. Is he gonna do that now? Oh, you silly, silly boy. Oh, so silly. Of course, we just... Like, there's 17 lands in this deck. And we drew... Just, like, wow. Any combat trick there, game over. No, the opponent somehow was able to stay in it for one more game. I mean, one more match. He's going to go for another Fortress activation. No? Nah, you can't. You can't possibly be that silly. Then it's a game over. You need a removal spell. This is an example of what's been happening to me for the last couple of days. I'm not falling for this Wandering Emperor swing. But like, honestly, bro, how the hell are you supposed to have just drawn 4? That was the 4th in a row in a deck with that few lands. It's just combat tricks and a few creatures. Like, come on, mate. You can't do this to me. Okay, that's not scary for the moment. I think the only reason why you would do that is if you had... Okay, he's going to play a land and then hold up the blocker. No, he's still got Wandering Emperor. Okay. What have you got? Is it this? No. What's going on? He's got something. Oh, you slimy, slimy bugger. Don't do this to me, please. Ah! 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 Okay. Okay. That's still... Oh, you... Well played, well played. This is the final chance that we get. I cannot believe he found a way around that. Wow. Congratulations. Doing the math. Gross. Just gross. Now do you guys believe me? I'm cursed? Yes, we got a couple of wins there, but this is next level shit. How many lands is it possible for a single person to draw? I don't understand. I really am struggling. Okay, that wasn't a land, but it wasn't what we were looking for. Oh no, this one's slipping out of my fingers. I can feel it. We're dunzos. I mean, we're both flooding like crazy. It's just one of those weird games Arena can cook up out of nowhere. There's still a slight chance because of the trample and stuff, but that was the most insane flood in a 17 land deck I've seen in a long time. And those of you who follow me on Twitter would have seen the video I posted when I was playing like this mono red dragons deck I was testing. I drew... I don't remember how many freaking... like... obscene, ridiculous amount of lands. Like it was something like 7 in a row. That, I'm sorry, is shit. I'm sorry. Like, at least I have you guys here along for the ride to witness the levels of nonsense that the client's been giving me over the last couple of days. 17 land deck. No, not, yes, I think it's 17. Let's double check. And we just drew something like at 1.4 in a row and then another 3 at the most crucial moment when almost anything else would have gotten the win. But I've learned to just laugh at it because it's you know, sometimes it just is how it is, and if you can't laugh at it, you're gonna lose your mind. It's tough. Call it variance if you want. I just like to call it bullshit. Okay, that's much better. We're playing against Ronos. If it's black or white. Okay, so now I feel a little bit more comfortable. I think I'm gonna just go Kumano and hold up Tyvar stand and then play a Picnic Ruiner on top of the chapter 2 of Kumano. And hopefully looks like we're playing nice. Perfectly replaced, so we still get to hold up our lovely Tyvar stand. And when I initially assumed this was going to be, you know, the main ramp, now it's looking like I have no idea. Cool. Check this out. You better have another Path of Peril in your hand, mate, or it's probably just game over. Oh. Making up for that last one. Thank you, deck. Mwah, mwah, beautiful. How are we doing for time? 37 minutes in. I think we can call it a night. We've seen what the deck is capable of. I'm also not reinventing the wheel here. I threw this one together myself. Maybe the Rockfall Vales. But the one thing that we didn't get to see go off was the Scamp, even though the opponent conceded when we were about to, kinda. Everything else just humming along fantastically, and I don't feel the need to play too many more matches with this one. We know what it's capable of now. Let me just, yeah, so it was 19 lands, but still, wow, that flood was nuts. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the replay. That was bonkers. In terms of like upgrades, if you want to, you know, call them that, there's definitely a case to be made for, where's the little Red Riding Hood? Ruby, maybe, because then it can be mana, like in a pinch to get a Tyvar stand protection kind of thing. But I've been preferring the haste and the trample, and the fact that it enters as a you know, when it gets to attack, it'll have the 4 power, which triggers the Picnic Ruiner. So there's a couple of reasons why I leant more towards the Iconoclast, but Ruby could definitely be in there for consideration. But yeah, like then it would become just a completely different deck if you start to think about things like Alana and Elena, you know, Samut. Then it goes into more traditional Gruul. That's not what the strategy is here. We're going for this like super low to the ground combat tricks, and currently this is registering as the top deck in the meta as far as Untapped is concerned. on the platinum tier, which is no joke. It does show that it isn't like, sorry, in diamond. I'm gonna whip up the stats here for you guys on camera. There's, you know, that shows to me that it's like, even if you just go back down 1 to platinum, it's not even there. As soon as we go to diamond, boom, top of the rank, 57.2. That's a high win rate, mate. So definitely a kind of new sort of little breakout deck from the meta. And the cool thing is that it is incredibly budget friendly. So I highly recommend that you guys give it a whirl. As always, the list is going to be down there in the description. Let's go have a look at some stats. Oh yes, I forgot. Untapped is doing something today. I've mentioned it to them. They follow me on Twitter or now X. So yeah, there's some issues with Untapped, unfortunately. So I can't show you the stats, but I think we just lost 1 match there out of 5 or something, and then in testing I won another 3 in a row. So finally something that's getting me a little bit of wins. I definitely feel a lot better about the last couple of days, which have been terrible. But like I said, I'm gonna now hit stop record, jump into the editing studio, get this one ready for upload, and then I'm going to be creating some disgusting control decks. So stay tuned for that. That is going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for watching and bearing with my salty ramblings. I will be seeing you all in the next one with another fresh control brew. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab signing out. Peace, y'all.